Clark talked about he still has Chris Gray, who's had to be Hercules for UNC in the early going.
And exceeding expectations in terms of his numbers without those midfielders.
Petey LaSala and Zach Tucci at the face-off X. And Tucci wins the opening draw for North Carolina.
Without Will Bowen, who used his grad transfer at Georgetown, there's a lot of missing pieces. Can they match Virginia?
Bounce shot and a score. It's the freshman Griffin Schutz, the #1 player out of high school. That is a triceratops going downhill.
He's a problem. He's a matchup problem. You watch the Cavaliers operate on offense, it's like watching an NBA team. They pick on mismatches. Schutz has got the great size. He's a freshman. What does he go? 6'4", 235 pounds? And he gets ahead of steam, and it's lights out.
And I love this dodge, too, because when you watch Schutz on tape, he's doing a lot of inverting, coming from behind the kid.
Own defense for North Carolina.
Here's Connor Shellenberger, leading the nation in assists per game. Now Connor, back of the net. He continues his dominance against UNC.
And just what the doctor ordered. You mentioned Connor was banged up, missed some games. When you looked at the Virginia offense, the one missing piece was the stretch shooting from the midfielders. And now that you have Connor back, Peter Garno heats up. This team becomes almost unscout.
Here is Kelly. Gray nearly lost his footing. Over the wing and the feet and the score. It's Cole Herbert, who Joe Bresci said needs to step it up a little bit. He's got the potential to do so.
Quint, this is the magic of Chris Gray.
Watch him operate up top. You'll see he ultimately slips, but he's able to gain an edge and draw the adjacent double team. And you'll see him handle this right here. He catches it up top, slips, draws two, kicks it to the adjacent man, and how easy is Cole Herbert's job? You want to get a guy into a strong shooting streak? Well, pair him up with Chris Gray. It's a room service feed, turn and rake.
Chris Gray all around. Here comes O'Connell. Over to Kelly. Gray fakes his shot, gets free and scores. Sublime.
This is awesome. If I'm Virginia, for starters, I'm probably shading him when he's adjacent, when he's the next man in ball rotation. The problem is Carolina is spinning the rock. But watch what he does to increase his angle and to get the separation. Kastner has the hardest matchup of his career. He's been playing unbelievable for Virginia. But to match up against a guy like Gray, this is a different long time.
And Joe Bresci said that took the pressure off this team this week. Here's Herbert. He's got a goal bouncer, and he beats Nunes upstairs. Virginia scored the first two. A 3-goal blitz by UNC.
Herbert's a big boy, 6'3", 210. He's a sophomore, a talented two-way player. You've got to impact shooters at this level. If you don't get to their hands, they're going to find the back of the net. Watch this old school. Use the earth, Cole Herbert.
Twice. Virginia man down. Team's just 2 of 13.
Because how long they are.
Oh, look at Kastner. And there's a goal by Henry Schertzinger. 4 unanswered for North Carolina.
Lars Tiffany's got to be contemplating a timeout right now on that Virginia sideline. Things are spiraling out of control. I know this is a long game, and these ACC Thursday night thrillers can take on a frantic pace and tempo.
Quint, the second meeting last year between these two, we had 12 goals in the first quarter. We're off to that caffeinated start here.
That ball got deflected by the defender's stick.
Nunes had no clue how to track that one.
It's going to be much better. Young team improving. Zinzer. And he was in the crease.
To me last week, the biggest change was the midfield came alive, right?
Henry Schertzinger. Not that time. Here comes Kastner. Peyton Cormier to Shellenberger, cranks and scores! An absolute Hadouken from Shellenberger.
The handle by Kastner, the vision. Starts with aggressive defense. Virginia playing a little more spirited now in the second quarter. And one thing I'll tell you about Shellenberger, going back to the end of last year, the kid don't miss.
He doesn't miss, and Cole Kastner in the middle of the field has been magnificent for Virginia. I want to see Connor Shellenberger actually shoot more. He's only had double-digit shots once in his career last year against Georgetown in period.
Again, he's got a chance to go down as maybe the best to ever play at this school, which says a lot. Cormier, 5-hole, tied at 5.
Well, he had 6 a week ago against Johns Hopkins, and he was heating up. And when you look at the pieces to this Virginia attack, we mentioned Shellenberger. Moore's had some monster seasons in Charlottesville, and Cormier is that piece that kind of puts it all together, right? You have these two playmakers and then a guy who could finish at this ability, and Schutz is he's just too much to handle.
Blink of an eye, that ball's in Cormier's stick. His feet are up.
Now the cat and mouse game from X. Shellenberger against Matt Wright, who stick checks it loose. Garno recovers, and the shot clock is down to 7. Matt Moore fires on the run and scores.
That is a ridiculous shot. Late in the shot clock, he's driving across the face of the goal, so Krieg's momentum and body weight is leaning on his left foot, and Moore bounces that back to the near post. So difficult to make this stop.
Outstanding. You have to shoot different, right? You have to get the head of your stick across your...
Moore turns and scores. Wow. They may not let other guys even take that shot. Matt Moore makes those shots.
Here's the deal, Quint. Carolina might have one defender to guard this duo.
Yeah.
They don't have two.
No one does. Who does?
Maybe Georgetown. Maybe.
Tell you, you look at the career point leaders. When I look at Matt Moore, I think of a guy, and Paul, you do a lot of investigation here. Premier Lacrosse, the Pro Lacrosse League this summer. Matt Moore's a top 3 pick in my eyes.
I have him as number 2.
I got Gray 1, Matt Moore, Virginia 2. I got Nakai Montgomery of Duke at 3. Look at him work, zigzag, back and forth.
Straight games with a goal for Corey. Here's Cormier against Connor Marr, one of the top D middies. Cormier posting up. Shellenberger feeding inside. What a pass to McIntosh. The vision of Connor Shellenberger on full display.
When you play with a Chris Gray or you play with a Connor Shellenberger, you know every single time you're on the offensive zone, you have an opportunity to get loose and get the rock in such small windows. Cormier on the wing, a quick pass to Connor Shellenberger, flick of the wrists.
Across the whole D1 landscape. The field from the fans that we interacted with. We're down in the field in warm-ups. These games just have a little more juice.
Harrison Schertzinger down the alley, back of the net. And it's an 8-7 game.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Skyline Chili, baby.
Primetime athlete, a guy who waited his turn. Remember, they had all those great senior midfielders last year at the University of North Carolina. He's dealt with multiple ACL injuries, and here he is. His twin has got 2 assists in this game. Harrison's a blazer down the right-handed alley.
We've seen a lot of defensemen the size of Cole Kastner, few move like him. Kastner was a big-time Ivy League basketball recruit. He would have played for Virginia's basketball team this year, but his academic schedule interfered with Virginia's practice schedule. Here's Gray, ahead to Kelly, fakes out Nunes and scores, and we're tied. And the Carolina bench explodes.
20 in blue, that's all you. That is all Matt Wright.
Ontario, this kid's one of the fastest players on the field. He has got a motor and wants to play. The one-handed little wrap check. Ball's on the carpet, off to the races.
And then Gray holds the Virginia defense. When he first had that ball, I thought this too, right? When you talk to Pete Sr., you know that his son is going to bring it.
Shellenberger dumps it into Dixon, and it trickles in. Second assist for Shellenberger, and Xander Dixon, his first tally of the game.
If you watch Virginia on tape this year, you'll see this goal once or twice in every game this year. It's a scissors cut inside. One player is cutting towards Shellenberger, the other is cutting towards the back post. Watch him mirror. That's a great job by Dixon. Mirrors Shellenberger, so he comes up.
Shellenberger is going to give you the ball in such a tight window.
It's like trust, getting in a car with a niche.
Okay, all right, already. Here's Tyre, top shelf off the face-off win. Well, we don't have time for jokes tonight. This game's moving too fast.
We've seen so many times for Virginia, Petey LaSalle has had those monster goals, right? The face-off win. Last year when you did the game here, he had a couple of those huge momentum changers. This time it's Tyre. Scrapping, LaSalle loses the draw. They're not going to him. Why? Because they're too worried about Chris Gray and Jacob Kelly. Yeah, exactly.
Solomon over to Kelly. Gray's up top. The maestro. Feeding the crease, and Jacob Kelly for the slam dunk. Carolina on top.
Quint, this is why I love this play. When we watched Chris Gray on tape the last few weeks in the same exact spot, he shot from there. So now teams are concerned he might have a quick little dodge off of extra man. He's a shooter, he's a shooter. No, he's a passer.
Everything's right up.
Gable, a sophomore from Boys Latin. Quint's tie supplier. You know what I like about Blake Gable?
What?
Right here, baby.
Swim. He can't swim.
I know
you guys
two
are,
people
you guys
now.
are soulmates.
Ties it at 10.
This is the game tilter right now. We're seeing this. They don't have anyone to defend Matt Moore. I think Matt Wright has done a really nice job on Connor Shellenberger. The problem is Matt Moore is one of the best Dodgers in college lacrosse. They've thrown a freshman in Paul Bartnett him. They're throwing Blake Gable, who's a lefty. He's a lefty fighting upfield cross forearm against Moore. No shot.
You need to attack Carolina through their defense. Watch this official launch his flag. Woo! Send that baby up 40 yards. Shot at its release point.
He's been awesome tonight. We're talking a lot about Kastner. Matt Wright's been matching it.
Herbert lost his stick. Shellenberger rings it up. A hat trick for Shelly, and that is 10 consecutive 5-point games for Connor Shellenberger.
Flex Connor Shellenberger. You are a man of steel. As he turns the corner, Herbert gives him a strong two-handed check. Watch what happens to Herbert's stick. At the goal line extended. One in blue right there. Breaks his stick over Shellenberger. Connor keeps ticking.
Yeah, one of the most underrated aspects of Connor Shellenberger's game is his strength.
Got it down. It was kicked by Matt Wright.
Connor Marr, 31 in Carolina blue, and Matt Wright, 20 in Carolina blue, are the strengths of this unit. I want no part of them if I'm Virginia. I find somewhere else to attack.
Yeah, Moore trying to dodge against Gable. Simmons swarmed. Gives it up. Still time to shoot. Shellenberger feeding the crease to Dixon. Connor Shellenberger fired up. A 6-point game and a 2-goal lead for Virginia.
You look at the ways Virginia manipulates matchups and puts their primetime players in all different spots. We saw him running through checks on a short stick, breaking Cole Herbert's stick, this time as a passer. The wherewithal and understanding what's next, right? The instincts to see.
Spatial awareness.
Yes.
To see what will happen, not what happening now. Get better and better looks.
Here's Schutz, #1 freshman coming out of high school. Now Cormier against Lawhead. Peyton Cormier, the wily Canadian.
Virginia goalie Alex Rode, the owner of 2 rings. One thing Matt Nunes already has shown as a freshman, maybe he's better on the ride with his athletic ability, covering ground. He makes the pick off, handles the ball in traffic.
And you give it to the crafty Canadian, Peyton Cormier. Understands the leverage game, finishing inside, too easy.
A 1-goal win against High Point. The other games, all blowouts. There's more. Over to Cormier, the hat trick for Peyton Cormier.
Do you remember when I said Matt Moore should attack Blake Gable left-handed? The reason being, when he took him to the rack earlier in this quarter, Gable didn't look comfortable in the cross forearm. So Moore has the ball here. Once he switches here, he's out of control. He spins and loses his balance and his wherewithal. You turn your back, you're done.
Turn your back, you're toast. Defensive.
Over to the wing, off the stick of Simmons. Wallhead in pursuit. Big ground ball. Saladay off the scramble. Moore wants it. He's open on the wing. Oh, they have Matt Moore, who had a clean lane to the goal. Instead, it's North Carolina ball.
Long head.
Back to Henry Schertzinger. Gray against Kastner. Feeding to Sullivan inside. Nunes! The denial on the doorstep.
Super athletic save, and now the counterattack.
Mitchell Whalen, 43. They call him the killer whale. That ball was tipped. Eyes always up. Wright meets him. Comes to Cormier, nearly a turnover. Less than 20 to shoot. Cormier has it stick checked away. Dixon corrals it. Moore with a rocket. And Carolina with possession.
I want Matt Wright on my team.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
He's laying out.
One of the
want him on
fastest
my
guys. He's got a shot down the road, Clark, to play for Canada. I know he's...
Shot, yeah, without question, because it's not like it's a defensive factory up north. I think he's a no-brainer next kind of stage.
Ontario native.
Defender, yeah.
Played for the Hill Academy. Good high school football player.
Nunes comes out to meet Gray. Retreats into the cage. Harrison Schertzinger out of the box.
Carolina's got one more push.
Carolina's missed its last 14 shots. There's the double, well timed. Here's Zinsser, and he pings the back of the net. First goal of the second half for UNC.
And I thought it was critical, Quint, to have that goal come from a non-Chris Gray player, right? Like, get everyone involved, get everyone believing. Everyone's getting a touch here.
Double team drawn, step down City. Zinsser from Gonzaga in D.C., the Elite 90 winner last season at the Final Four for his awesome GPA.
Yeah, he steps into that, bounces it.
Offensively, they got to rotate behind it. You double there, somebody's got to go.
Third goal of the season for Zinsser. Tucci had the face-off one. Whalen took it away. He lost it to Barton.
He's on Cormier, 24 in orange. If I'm 24 in orange, I want the ball here.
Alex Bresci eyes up Jeff Connor. Shellenberger going to set the pick. Nope, Connor doesn't take it. Now feeds Shellenberger. Gets topside. Shellenberger rifles it in. 4 goals for Shelley. A 7-point evening.
He doesn't miss, Quint.
Last 9 games, he's been shooting only strikes. I couldn't be more impressed with Virginia's execution of that last possession that started at the 6:30 mark. They got multiple shots. They put pressure on the defense. And guess who?
He's got to be the front runner right now for Defenseman of the Year.
I was going to say, no, I was actually going to say it about a minute ago. A game like this with the caused turnovers, with the havoc, with limiting a great player, Cole Kastner has got to be in the top 3 right now.
Will Bowen, I think, has been fantastic for Georgetown. Kastner has to be in that discussion.
Virginia's defense put a pin on it in the second half, holding Carolina to just 1 goal. UNC had a 10-9 lead at halftime. 6-1 Virginia in the final 30 minutes. The Cavaliers stay undefeated, and they get a titanic matchup and a rematch with Maryland from the national championship next week in D.C.
Quinn, I feel like Virginia has separated themselves nationally along with Maryland, but Carolina's performance, I think, was kind of a notice to the rest of the ACC that